Welcome to a new video, continuing my top 150 albums of all time. We're up to the ones from 80 to 71, and unfortunately, sorry about the noise, there are two at number 80, but let's get on to it. So at number 80, the first one, this is Close to the Edge by Yes. I think it was their fifth album. It came out in 1970. I was really into it. Yes, I was 16 years of age, saw them live a number of times, and saw them their first live concert covering this album, hearing it in its total complete form, with Rick Wakeman dressed in his cape. That's definitely the highlight, takes up the whole of the second side, and it's number 80 in my countdown. Joint number 80 was an album that I drooled over. I was very much into Californian rock and singer-songwriters. It's Jackson Browne's third album, I believe, called Late for the Sky. It's about the death of his wife, and it was released in 1974. Probably the highlight anyway, the one that really I almost shed buckets of tears to, is The Fountain of Sorrow. So that's the other one at number 80. 79 then, back to the 70s again. I was 16 years of age, and this album hit the record shops, and I couldn't stop playing it. It's by Deep Purple, regarded as Deep Purple Mark II, and I didn't really hear any of Deep Purple Mark I music, but I certainly played this one, and it's called Deep Purple in Rock. Come out in 1970. Absolutely awesome piece of hard rock. And the two highlights, although one has to say it's all a highlight really, are Gillan's Child in Time, and then the finale, which I've always loved, and it's called Hard Loving Man. So that's 1979. At number 78, I got into this album by this duo from Philadelphia. Their names were Daryl Hall and John Oates. It was really before they became very popular, but it's still my first take from their collection. It was called Abandoned Luncheonette, and it released in 1973. I still love listening to it. It's got a very sort of summery feel to it, but the classic She Said is on it as well, which is a typical blues soul. So it's at 78 in my countdown. Abandoned Luncheonette by Daryl Hall and John Oates. 77, and we're up to 2018 now, and this might come as a bit of a shock. I've selected an album by Angelique Kidjo from Benin, and it's her take on the Talking Heads album Remain in Light, which is in itself a masterpiece. To get to listen to this, absolutely terrific. And number 76 is the British band The Kinks, and they released in 1968 an album called After the Fall of the British Empire. It's a comedic look at British imperialism, colonialism, call it what you will, and how it was falling apart. Two particular songs that I love from it are Victoria, referencing the Queen of course, and Australia, referencing one of those countries that decided they weren't going to put up with being a colonial power anymore. Ray Davies absolutely superb on this. At number 75, took me a long while to get into this album. It was released in 1967, and it's by the band from Canada, called Music from Big Pink. It's their debut, and although the tracks are perhaps not as famous as album 2, I think it's one that warrants its position. And just listen to The Weight, absolutely brilliant. So we're up to number 74 now in the countdown. I'm making these brief because they really need a long video, but this is a ranking video. This is a 1991 album by the band from Glasgow, Deacon Blue, and I think it was their 4th, and it's called Fellow Hoodlums. My Swaying Arms. Can't remember the tracks now. All I know is when I put it on, I love it. We're up to number 73 in my top 150 albums of all time. And this is an album that came out in 1970. Another one that I really played a lot. It's by the Steve Miller Band. It was their 5th album, and coincidentally it was entitled Number 5. The first side is wonderful. There's a sort of segue of songs that seem to or appear to knit together. But the highlight is Steve Miller's Midnight Tango on side 2. Although really there's not a dud on this album. Wonderful stuff. And it's at number 73. Number 72, The Beach Boys. I can't say that I've really listened to this album much, but it is an absolute classic. It's the 1967 album, Pet Sounds. That's it. Nothing more to say about it. And at 71 in this video is the 1975 album by Bob Dylan. Not a great lover of Dylan, but one has to bow one's hat to this. It's an absolute 5-star gem. It's called Blood on the Tracks, and by far the most nourishing song for me is Lee, Rosary and the Jack of Hearts. Although Shelter from the Storm is not that bad. In fact, there is not a dud on this one. And that completes this video.